Oi, oi, we are Rivals on the Pitch podcast. Just want to say we are back. Premier League, we've missed you. Today we're going to go over match week 12 and we're going to go into match week 13. We're going to see how the first game for Ruben Amorim went, and we're going to go over all the games that we've seen so far. Of course, our teams have done well, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Spurs, so we'll see how the rest of the table's done. And by the way, I'm Randy.
I'm Pat.
And I'm Alan.
Welcome. Settle in. Grab your beer. Grab your coffee.
Welcome back. Welcome back from the international break.
And what a good week of games it's been. A good way to start off. Yeah. New faces. And sadly some faces are gone.
Yeah, we did
lose someone today.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, surprisingly the first to go.
Not who I expected.
Exactly. Could have sworn there were going to be a couple more coaches before this one that would have gone, but it is what it is.
So Steve Cooper, I don't think he was on our list.
No, I actually think I kind of liked what he was doing with Leicester. I know they probably expected more. I'm sure they're looking to stay in the league, and they're looking to make sure they're outside of that relegation zone, right? And which they were for the majority of the part. Are they back in it? No, they're still not in.
I mean, no, they're in 16 with 10 points. I mean, they're just like 2 spots above it, but still, they're in the danger of it.
They're at the same time like Chelsea. That's probably like an expected game to lose. So
yeah,
you know what I mean. Like no one expects Leicester City to beat this Chelsea at the moment. So why not wait till like December or something? You know what I mean. But I guess now they have time to get somebody before the window. Maybe they want somebody to have enough time for the window.
Yeah,
but who are you going to get?
That winter break. Yeah, that's true.
They were saying David Moyes.
You should bring Sam back. I forgot what his name. Sam
Allardyce.
Allardyce. Yes, bring him back. He is hilarious, and he's known for saving teams from relegation. But I don't know about what the situation with him.
I mean, I feel like Steve Cooper is doing what he could with the teim.
It's not a.
That's why it's a surprise that he got canned. Honestly, I thought he was safe
compared to.
I thought they were going to give him a little more leeway compared to other coaches.
Exactly, but hey, that might mean some serious business coming from Leicester. I think they're, like I said, they're legit trying to stay. And maybe they see, hey, this is an opportunity before we get worse, before things, those Wolves and Crystal Palace, before they start playing better. Let's get on let's get our shit together. Hire a manager, get serious, and make sure we stay out of that bottom 3.
So I feel like that's going to be transfer for them in the transfer window. They're probably going to do them panic buys and do what they need to do to stay up.
Yep. Yeah, I would take Sam Allardyce, but I don't think they were a relegation side as of yet. But maybe it was too close.
That's what I mean. Like they probably saw an opportunity before things get worse. But.
I mean, they probably seen Wolves has just started catching, their groove. Crystal Palace, Ipswich. They're thinking these guys are playing well right now. They can leapfrog us, so we got to do something drastic. But I think it's still too early in the season for them to can him, to fire him. But whatever the logic is behind that, it's done already. So now let's see who they hire and if that changes anything.
Who's next?
Honestly, I was thinking it should have been like someone from like Wolves, Ipswich, or Crystal Palace because they haven't done as much. But I'm happy that those teams are sticking by those coaches.
I'm surprised you didn't say West Ham.
Oh, sorry, Southampton. I think they should.
Southampton, yeah,
Southampton.
Yeah.
They should. I think that's way past their bedtime. I think they have to make
they could barely beat this awful Liverpool side. So yeah, they have to change something.
Yeah, I think it's Southampton or West Ham before Wolves or Ipswich. I think that's what's going to happen. Southampton.
Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
They almost
West
bought
Ham
themselves
play.
a little bit more time, but we'll see.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
West
yeah,
Ham
we
will
do
play
have one more
Newcastle
game
tomorrow, so we'll see what happens then and there. And they're playing away.
Yep.
All right, you want to get started?
Let's dive in.
Let's do
All
it.
right, let's start it. Speaking of Mr. Cooper, Leicester won, Chelsea 2 at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 1, Chelsea 2. Goals from Nicholas Jackson, Enzo Fernandez, and for Leicester at the injury time, 90th minute, a little too late. Goal from Jordan Ayew.
Ayew?
I don't know. Are you?
More like IOU. Sorry,
Yeah, it's Ayew.
Yeah, it's surprisingly. This is the game that cost Mr. Cooper his. I can't see this game being the one that cost him his job. There must be some other things.
It must have been just a trajectory.
There must have been some stuff going on behind the scenes, and and I think they're trying to plan sooner than later. And I think they want to go into this winter transfer with a new manager, a new approach, have time to, get things in line, so that come January they're rolling again. But we'll see.
I think Steve Cooper said in his post-match interview that now he's going to look into acting opportunities, and he's thinking about trying out for Half-Baked, the sequel, Half-Baked 2.
Is this real?
I'm sorry, but this dude looks like he's always baked.
Yeah.
Well, you'd be surprised. You get some good ideas when you're baked. It just didn't transfer into the field.
You ever seen those videos of people doing caricatures of people
Yo,
Yes.
yes.
on the side of the street, and they draw them all,
And
funny
they turn
looking?
it around at the very end. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like he's just that, but walking. Like, that's his face. Like, you don't have to do
Walking
anything. It's already,
caricature.
yeah. Sorry, dude.
Yeah. Well, good luck to him. I'm sure he'll go
Yeah.
back to probably Nottingham Forest once Nuno goes then back to Wolves, and the carousel goes round and round.
I don't know. I feel like you think. Oh, I don't think you'll get an opportunity in the Premier League. I
He'll probably
wonder
go
if
to
you'll
the
get
championship.
Maybe.
I think that's where he
Oh,
belongs in the
Belongs.
nicest way. I just think
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
good
no.
he's good in that atmosphere. Not to say he doesn't belong in the Premier League, but it's just a different animal.
I don't watch the championship, but to me, my perception is that there's more of an even playing field. I could be wrong.
No,
I
yeah,
could
for
be
sure.
wrong, but
It's a fun league to watch, especially if you're
Yeah.
neutral, because the games are just. If you look at like a back and forth game in the Premier League, and you're like, "Wow, this game's really open." I feel like a lot of championship games are just like that.
yeah, I can see that because you do get a lot of teams get promoted. Different teams. It's not always the same three, so there is some.
Mm-hmm.
and there's big
Yeah.
teams down there like QPR.
Leeds,
Leeds. Teams that have history,
yeah,
and
Blackburn.
and it just shows
Blackburn,
you
yeah.
how hard it is to get back up. But it's a tough league, honestly, down there.
It is hard to get back up. So now into an ad. No, just kidding.
Better health.
Yeah. Sponsor us, please.
All right, moving along. A match that I was hoping went a different way. I think this is one of the few matches that didn't go as I predicted. It was the 8:00 kickoff at the Arsenal Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Pat, why don't you take the lead on this one? Let us know how this went.
Yeah, I mean, I felt confident going into this one. In the last episode, I think my prediction was 3-1. Close.
Yes.
Obviously, Odegaard coming back into the team now, having had a few minutes. He came off early still, just as a precaution, still getting to full fitness. But we are just a different team with Odegaard. in the starting 11. And you could see it right away. I mean, early goal, 15 minutes. And I did predict 3-1. I thought Nottingham Forest would be a bigger threat than they were. But honestly, there was just no threat at all. It was kind of all one-sided, and we probably could have had more. But at the end, a solid win at home, and I think now we're back on track. We had a weird start to the season, weird first quarter of this whole run, weird red cards, lots of injuries, missing players, but we're back now. I think from now on it has to be consistency for the rest of the season. Obviously we are going to lose games from here on to the very end, but it's got to be consistent. And Arteta was asked about Wanyeri because he came on late to replace Odegaard, and he scores a goal. He looked lively. He got past players, lots of flair. And he said that, that's a brick. He's responsible for building his career, and that's another brick. And then now you have to lay another layer of cement. If you put in 5 bricks, bricks. But that's the thing is, and now I feel like it's easier to defend why he wasn't playing him while Odegaard was out. I think considering the huge impact that Odegaard makes on our team, I think I don't think he wanted to kill this kid's career with pressure. Like,
you're not going to kill it if you just throw him in.
Yeah, but he's 17, and if he's not doing,
you learn by getting sometimes thrown into fire.
You do, and he did play. I'm not saying, but he wasn't completely replacing from start 90 minutes. Because if all of a sudden we start losing these games the same way we did with him on the pitch, people will be like, "Oh, why is this kid not doing this? Why are we playing a 17-year-old?" And then all of a sudden you start getting on the bench. Maybe you don't play that much anymore, and then you end up at Fulham. So I think he's handling it very carefully, and he's doing great. He's showing great results for the time that he's getting. And I think he'll learn, and he'll probably get more time. But I think he didn't change his game plan with him, regardless of Odegaard's absence. And I think we made the best of what we could, considering, like I said, the crazy start, the red cards, the injuries. So now we just have a few injuries, just like every other team. So we just have to, like I said, get back on the horse. I think this was probably the closest we've looked to last season's Arsenal, just commanding possession, shots, etc. So yeah, good game.
What did you think about the starting lineup when you saw it? Because there was a couple of changes. I know Gabriel Jesus was there, and he's been hardly like a no-show this season.
Yeah, I think the way I saw it, first of all, obviously Ben White's injured, so we had Yuri and Timber right back, and then Calafiori's back. They both came off because they're coming back from injuries. I think they both played really well. The whole back line was super solid. In the midfield, they were resting Partey. Obviously, he's a little bit older now, so just give him a little bit of rest. I think Marino held his own. He scored a goal, which was called offside, but it was good play nonetheless. And with Jesus, I think it's good to sometimes just keep it fresh a little bit. Surprise the opponent. Obviously, he's so different to Kai Havertz, but the way they set up, it almost felt like Arteta knew that Forest was going to sit back, so we needed creative players with a lot of flair, and that's what you get from Jesus and Saka. And he played Trossard instead of Martinelli, which he's also a little bit more flair than speed. So I think it was just he was trying to go creative to break down a Forest that would probably sit back, and they did, and we did break them down. So I think it was good to shake it up.
So you think this is the new norm moving forward for this season?
I think it has to be, but I think this is a showing of what Arsenal can do. Obviously, non-Forest is a good side this season. They're a side to not, take lightly. They've beaten a lot of top teams, and they mean business. So we had to be careful. But I think it was a solid win overall. I think considering, the teams that were losing to Bournemouth and Brighton and stuff like that. Bournemouth is another one, so you got to be careful in almost every game. And I think this was a solid win. And yeah, it has to be like this to the end of the season if we want any chance at clawing ourselves back to the top. But I personally think it might be a little too far gone now.
Ooh, I was just about to ask you, do you think it's too late?
I think so, because everyone's saying the huge distance between City, which have come back from like 12-point differences, and that Liverpool team came back from like 15-point differences and stuff like that. So considering that they're thinking, the pundits, the commentators are saying 11 points is too much for City, why would I think that 12 points is not too much for Arsenal? You know what I mean?
You got to believe, brick by brick.
Then yeah, they cement.
Please don't bring any more Arteta-isms into this, because I can't stand that dude.
I think there was a lot of questions around this guy not playing, so I had to mention it.
Yeah.
I did see that quote about it.
People get too what's trigger happy when they see, a young kid, display some have good moments, on the pitch, and you're like, okay, now you have to play every single minute. You've proven yourself. In reality, it's
when things go bad, people look for a scapegoat, and he could have been an easy target. And I think it was a interview with Fabregas, who also started at Arsenal, starting 11 when he was like 16, and he said that he felt a lot of pressure going into that team when stars started leaving. Over Bergkamp wasn't there, Thierry Henry had gone, and the team started turning over, and he was basically had all this pressure to turn this team around. And he said that it was a lot of pressure for someone who was that young, and Warnieri is only 17, 18. So I get why they're being careful with him.
But at the same time,
it's a lot of mental stuff as well, which a lot of people don't take into consideration. He's a young kid still, and you don't want all that pressure to. You don't know how a young kid's going to handle that compared to an adult who's been doing this for a while already. They're used to it. It still hurts, but as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, it hits you differently. And fans can be brutal. Let's be honest. Fans are brutal.
Exactly. But it's good for them to get some minutes, right? You want to see the minutes, because you're not going to get any better experience than playing an actual game, right? Like, that's in practice, you can't replicate this type of environment. You can't replicate the speed of the game. You can't, on the field, match day is when you get the most experience. And even for our young guys, like, you don't want them to start all 90 minutes, or you don't want them to start, have 40, 50, 60 minutes, but you do want them, hey, get them out there, the last few minutes of the game, last 15, last 20 at least, and have them experience that speed that, these defenders out there. So, but yeah. And like I said, fans just get super triggered, and they're like, oh, they need to play. They need to go out this. Look at the game he had. He scored a goal. He's going to score 3 goals the next game, and it's like, dude, that's not, it's
not realistic.
Healthy. It's not realistic.
Yeah, but it was the right time to put him on. You guys were already up 2-0 at that point. You're playing at home. It's fine. But I think it was the right time for him to show up and at least play. Bad experience is still experience, and that's what he needs to have as well. It just can't be good experience. Bad experience teaches you lessons, so you can prepare for the next time you get on the field. But he did a good showing. You got a goal out of it.
Yeah, let's hope for more showings like this.
Let's not hope for that. I'm not hoping for that. We'll see what happens with Nuno's Nottingham Forest after this game. See if that was just a bump in the road, or if that's their way of coming back down the table.
Power up.
Yeah.
Another 8:00 game, for the Mountain Standard Time. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 2 at Villa Park. Crystal Palace, it's. Do you think they're coming back, or is this? Is this more of? Does this say more about Aston Villa, or does this say more about Crystal Palace? This draw.
Aston Villa. I think I think as we predicted, at least for myself, I think it's showing that these little international breaks now, Champions League, midweek games, are kind of starting to weigh on them. Because they have a better team than they did last season, and now they're struggling to maintain that consistency that they had last season.
But for me, I think this is a better showing for Crystal Palace. This is a Crystal Palace that we are used to seeing, a Crystal Palace team that is a thorn in every team's side. I'm just happy to see them playing like this again. They're close to winning it, but I think
Close.
this is a better showing for Crystal Palace. I feel like they're getting the stride now. They're going to be winning, drawing. I believe they're going to get more points now. I think that they had that
Well, I
bump
mean-
in the road in the beginning of the season. I feel like they're going to be playing much better now. They're going to be a problem for many teams.
Hopefully, because this draw, even with this draw, there's still one victory, 5 draws, 6 losses. They're still sitting 19th, just right above Southampton. But then you look at Aston Villa. Out of the last 5 matches, the last game they won was against Fulham back in October. They've drawn, lost, and drawn. So yeah, and they got Chelsea next. So we'll see how
Should be
that
good.
goes. Yeah, that's gonna be a good match. That's gonna say a lot. But yeah, Crystal Palace. Going into halftime, it was 1-2. Ross Barkley with the last, the 77th minute goal, kind of to draw it. And I didn't watch it, so I'm not too sure how Palace played, but it's you want to be excited for Crystal, and you think I don't think they're really getting back on it right now. I think it might be a little too late. I don't think they might finish 17th, right? But I don't know. It's iffy.
Yeah, I think
We'll
they'll
see.
make it out, but I think they'll
They're
make
not
it out,
looking-
but just barely.
Yeah, it's because, like you said, like, is Villa that good of a team now? Like, if they've had a bad few results, so it might not say much about Crystal Palace. Drawing with them. Moving right along, Bournemouth, Brighton. Bournemouth 1, Brighton 2. Brighton keeping their streak, going.
Yeah, Bournemouth coming back down now.
Yeah.
They beat City, and then that was like the highlight of their season.
There's still plenty of season to go, but you'd think they'd be on a high after winning the last year's champions. But I think Brighton is just playing phenomenal right now, and to do it away,
Well, who can't beat
Great.
City at this point? I mean, come on.
yeah.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Apparently, you guys can. So,
Yeah,
you shouldn't
they-
have spoken.
and then-
No.
and then let's see if Liverpool.
They can only beat us with unfair referees. So.
Oh wow! Okay, there you go. Bring
break
it
by
back.
break.
Unfair referee.
All right,
So
Mr.
the goals.
penalty.
All right. Did you guys see the Brighton goals? That
I
second
did,
goal was
Actually, they
Yeah.
were great.
yeah,
Matoma, man. I like that guy.
he's playing good.
I think he's been on the radar to be Salah's replacement at Liverpool, but yeah, he's a phenomenal player.
I think Bournemouth had a few times to draw it. I think one of their goals was called back. But yeah, I mean, what is it? 2 losses for them, back-to-back losses for Brighton or for Bournemouth. So they're heading down the table. Brighton's sitting up there, still top 5, top 6. Good for them. Them and their new coach.
Joe
That's a
Pedro,
good start.
he's
It's a good
had a
start.
good goals this season too.
Yeah, he's a difference maker. I remember last week he came in as a sub, I believe, and he was one of the difference makers in that game. So it's nice to see him start.
Yeah, I think he has 4 goals this season. And when I say I think, he does, because I looked at it right now.
4, you
All
said?
right. This was kind of a surprising 8:00 game. Everton 0, Brighton or Brentford 0 at Goodison Park. Didn't seem that much of an exciting game, but I didn't watch it. But did you guys get to see this one?
Well, Brentford had a red card, basically halftime,
Oh Lord!
and they still held out. So,
yeah, at the 41st minute,
and they were playing away at Everton. So, that would count this as a win for Brentford.
So yeah, Everton sitting at 15th. They drew to Brentford, but Brentford was down a man for nearly more than half. Yeah, for more than a half. They've only have two wins this season.
I think
5
it's a
draws.
shame that they couldn't take advantage of this. A whole 45 plus 50 minutes.
And you're playing at home. Come on. That's 3 points right there.
What do we think? 15th is how much lower? Is this a bad sign? You think they're gonna? Because right now we have Ipswich, Crystal, Southampton in the bottom three. You think Everton joins them
I think Everton
or
joins them.
replaces one of them?
They got to be they're replacing. I feel Crystal Palace and Wolves are going to get out of it. It's just trying to figure out who's going to be the team that's going to get relegated. I feel like it's going to be Leicester, and it's got to be could be Everton.
How much time does the Everton manager have if this keeps going? That's one we didn't speak of. We actually didn't add them to the list, surprisingly.
It just seems that it's been, how many seasons have they been in this position? I just feel like they're comfortable. They're comfortable where they are, and just like us, I feel like we say, "Oh, well, they'll find a way." It's Everton. I feel like they feel the same. They're like, "Oh, well, we'll make it out," and but I just don't feel like there's any motivation to make anything happen. They're also fighting with FFP rules right now.
That's right. They might not even have a choice but to keep the manager.
Yeah. Yep. So, anyway, who knows? That's an enigma.
It must be hard being an Everton fan these days because there's a lot of issues with that club, and it's unfortunate because it's a historic club too.
I mean, yeah, back in the David Moyes era, when they were consistent, when they were a mid-table team, they were an exciting team to watch. Now it's just depressing as an Everton fan to see that happen. It's such a team with history. Hopefully, they can stay in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, they might find a way. They always do. All right, next match we have Fulham Wolves at the Cottage. Fulham 1, Wolves 4. Are we finally seeing the Wolves that we've been defending? Are they finally here?
Yes.
This is it.
Did the manager just save his career here?
This was the statement because Fulham were
they were a hot
serious team. Yeah. And
you guys gave them a lot of praise last week.
I was thinking they were going to win.
I wasn't here.
No, playback.
What is it? I know it's not Thanksgiving yet, but that turkey's got to go.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, no, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. Can they keep it up? I think so.
I've probably said this a million times, but these newly promoted teams come in the league, or these lower of the table teams, they play a lot of defensive. It's almost like they rather have the draw than the loss, so they play a certain way, right? And I feel like Wolves were never playing that way. They always went out and tried to win, so they weren't looking for a draw. They were looking for those 3 points, but they were just they never wavered from that tactics too. So I think it hindered them a little bit, but now that they're starting to fire on all cylinders, hopefully, I think we're going to see a different Wolves. I think, I'm sure they're only going to, be a few points above where they are right now at 17th. They might end up 14th, 15th, but I think they're going to have a lot better rest of the season starting from now on.
But they play attractive football. They play exciting, and that's what you want to see. Those
exactly,
two of those goals that they scored were beautiful. They were outstanding. I had to watch it all over again. They were that good. They have that quality. It's finally nice to see to display that against Fulham, who is a hot team at the moment, who I believe Pat and I picked to win, but I didn't expect it to be 4-0, honestly. I expected it to be a closer game, but they came out firing, and it's nice to see that. Wolves is finally backing up our words, and it's good to see that.
But you've seen this type of football from them this season, like it's just the end results weren't there. So I think now the results are matching the football they're playing.
But like you said, they either go all out. They either go for the win or go for the loss. They're not complacent with the draw. You sometimes die by the sword, and that's nice to watch, but it sucks as a fan because that's what you want to see. You want to see your team go out for the win. You don't want to see them going for a draw. But eventually, after losses and losses, it's somewhat demoralizing. But it's good to see them have 2 wins. I think it was back to back, and against a good team. It's good. It's a good showing.
Yeah, it was back to back. They beat Southampton last week.
Mateus Cunha, 7 goals so far this season.
I was just about to bring him up.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
So he's coming to Arsenal.
Yeah, so watch. So we saw last the summer a lot of departures from Wolves. Are we going to see that again? Are they going to get disassembled again? Are they selling or are they keeping?
I think they're keeping.
I think they'll keep to the end of the season at least. Yeah.
What about the summer?
The summer's a different story.
Yeah, there you might just be looking to make a nickel,
because we've talked a lot about Nori and Kuna. Do you think they stay?
I see Nori leaving. Cunha might stay. People might be thinking, let's see if he can do it a second season.
Yeah,
because that's the type of position where you could have a good season, and then
it depends how you finish the season as well. System. And I don't feel like they would sell 2 of their best players. Either it's one's got to they sell one and they keep the other. But I think it all depends on how the season ends, honestly.
Yeah, it would be unfortunate if they do, because they got rid of some. Well, not rid of, but they sold some good talent, and it looked like it was really going to hurt them in the end. But they're turning things around, and hopefully that doesn't happen again. Because
look, Jimenez was their main goal scorer, went to Fulham, and they just at least they found a good replacement. They're able to score goals, and that's good for them. Well, just happy Wolves showed up. There's so much that we can do to back them up, and the patience paid off.
Hopefully they keep the ball rolling, and they stay clear of that bottom 3.
Yep. Come on, mini Portugal.
Yeah. All right. The next kickoff was a 10:30 game, Man City versus Tottenham Hotspurs at the Etihad Stadium.
At the empty.
Man City 0, Tottenham 4, huh?
The empty hat.
The Etihad. That is our second home away from home.
All right. Well, take it over, Alan. Give us the homecoming.
So I had to watch this game today, actually, or Sunday, the day after. But a few things kind of stood out for me. I was watching it, and I remember I was at work, so I looked down and I realized we were up 2-0, and then 4-0. So when I went to watch this game, I was like, okay, it should be a pretty convincing win. And I'm not trying to be negative, right? But I expect a lot from my team. I set really high standards.
Do they know about it?
So no, but so watching it, the first 10 minutes, before that first goal, James Madison got that first goal. Man, it looked like City was dominating us, and I'm glad I didn't watch this game live, because I might have switched the channel, because it's coming off that Ipswich loss. It feels like weeks and months ago, but it's a bad feeling when you go into an international break with a loss. So and then coming back from it and then playing such bad football, those first 10 minutes, and it wasn't until that James Madison goal finally that it's almost like that was the switch we needed. It seemed like Madison gained confidence. The whole team just gained confidence. Kulusevski even sung himself. And then 7 minutes later, again, James Madison, another, he scored a brace on his birthday, so it was a good game to watch. I hate that we beat them while they're on this losing streak, because people aren't going to give us the credit that we deserve. I think we went in there and we completely just they didn't score at home. We beat them at their house. People were telling us, "Oh, well, you didn't beat you beat City's B team, you beat City's C team during that cup game," and now there's no excuse. And they're like, "Oh, well, they didn't have Rodri, whatever." We didn't have our two center backs either. We played with Ben Davis and Dragusin, and we still came out here, kept a clean sheet. They kind of made me eat my words because last episode I predicted a 2-0, and then I had to go back because I was like, you know what? Or a 1-0, and I had to go back because I figured we weren't going to keep a clean sheet, but Spurs proved me wrong. Ricardo had some really good saves. It makes me feel better because that starting 11 that we created, I was hoping I didn't eat my words, putting Brennan Johnson, who scored, Pedro Porro, who scored, Kulusevski with the assist, Son with the assist. So I'm really happy. This is what we needed. This is definitely just like the way those two goals created that confidence for the rest of the game. I'm hoping this match does that. Kind of like how Pat was saying about his Arsenal team, beating Nottingham Forest. I'm hoping that this gives our players the confidence. I hope this gives them the confidence with for Ange or in Ange and his play style to be like, okay, let's be fully in again. Let's hit this, the floor running. And it's unfortunate that the winter break is coming. Sometimes I feel like those can kind of break that momentum. But yeah, it was a good showing. Glad to see it. Spurs are the only team that can beat Man City 2 times in November and still lose to Ipswich.
We called it.
They're the only team that can. Yeah, they're the only team that can.
We said it.
That can lose a match, become a meme, or win a match and become a meme. I don't get it, But yeah, it's those first 10 minutes were
Tottenham.
Tottenham. This is football heritage. It's like I said, those first 10 minutes, it was like, oh boy, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad I didn't watch it live because I would have been tempted to go do some errands or something. But yeah, I'm really, really glad with these results. But like I said, we can't win.
Consistency is what you're asking for, and you just got to hope you can keep that up.
So, and we're in top 6. We're sitting at 19 points. Manchester City's sitting at 23, so there's only a 4-point difference between 2nd and 6th. Liverpool's at 31, but you know what? You always got to believe. So, hey.
I did watch this game, and I will say, this is what irks me about the way that the Arsenal game that we had against Manchester City at the Etihad went, because I feel like we could have beaten them, and we were on track to until that weird red card. It would have been so. If they beat us like 11-11, I would have been like, all right, cool. We're not better than them. But I've heard a lot of people online say that it's not specifically Rodri that's making the team play the way it is right now, Manchester City. It's Ruben Diaz's absence, because he kind of plays another part in that backbone, if you want to call it that column.
A lot of people forget about him because everyone is just focused on Rodri, and you forget that
if Rodri's not there, Ruben Diaz is probably one of the best defenders after maybe Van Dijk and Saliba, and Romero. He's in the mix of the top defenders, and he's definitely Manchester City's best defender. And now you don't have the best DM in the world and the best defender on your team. But I won't say that that's not on. I won't say that that's unfair to say about Spurs, because they were, like you said, also missing your 2 center backs, which both can be considered some of the top center backs in the leagues as well. So it's even Steven. Yeah. So I think Tottenham's style of pressing and kind of suffocating teams maybe doesn't work all too well when you're playing teams who are good at defending and sitting back and low blocks. but City aren't that team. So I think you guys were able to capitalize on the openness of the game. And aside from their no excuses for Haaland. You know what I mean? He had plenty of
Right.
chances that he did not put one away.
He did. And I did notice, so like for us, sometimes against the press, we can be real bad. But during this game, we reacted very well to the press, which is surprising because you've seen it in the past where Dragusin gets pressed and, you know, he makes some bad mistakes. Davison, he's more of a, you can rely on Ben Davis. But yeah, we played very well against the press. We pressed very well as well. That kind of, I think that led up to the 2 goals. There was a starting 11 I sent you guys with Savinho. He played very bad. He had a bad game. I think he cost him about 2 goals. I think this could have been, you know, City had a good chance. He had underpass Haaland for an open, you know, for a 1-on-1 with the keeper, but he played pretty bad. And we gave him a lot of. It just goes to show that the inexperience in the league and his you know, he's a young player. I don't think he's gonna be a bad player. I just think right now
he's got room.
He has room to improve, but he's a lot of potential. But he played poorly in this match.
Phil Folder too.
Yeah, you know what's fun? His downfall is, I don't know what it is. It might just be that, you know, the team has a new system and it's just not working for them, and he doesn't fit it. But
what a way to celebrate Pep's new contract extension, huh?
Yeah.
It's like you rub your eyes and you're like, Eric.
Yeah, and now they got Liverpool next. The phonies, the phony derby.
I can't. I want to see this. I want
the phony derby.
the slap machine. Okay, well, you almost got beat.
You can call it whatever you want. At the end of the day, we're on top. We still won our game. Sometimes you win nice. Sometimes it's a gritty win, but a win's a win. Championship mentality.
Okay. Let's see if you say that when Haaland's got to bags his hat trick.
Good luck. Well, we'll hold predictions to the end, but I just think it's
De Bruyne's defrosting.
De Bruyne hasn't looked the same. He's you know, I think he's at that rough patch now. He's at that stage where he's not doing it anymore.
Just watch. Right on Friday, he's gonna release a picture that he buzzes his hair.
Oh,
you know, the comebacks here.
We'll see what happens. But we got to see. They're also playing. Are they playing this week in Champions League as well? But it's just. But like as this.
Oh, excuses now.
No, I'm talking about Manchester City.
Oh, okay,
yeah. Because it's just going to be more. I don't even think they're in a good position in the Champions League as well. But it's just maybe.
So no excuses next weekend.
For them. We'll get to Liverpool. Our game is next. Okay.
Yeah, let's just as all 3 of us, you know, a Tottenham fan, and 2 secret Spurs fans. Let's just celebrate this victory, right?
Look, this is what we're happy because we're tired of seeing Man City all the time winning. It's nice to see it. Yeah, and it's nice to see a different storyline for once. It's like Alan said, this is a weird season, but at least it's weird for Man City as well.
You're only saying that because you're on top.
No, it's just we all hate City. We're tired of City winning all the time.
They are salty.
And it's nice to see that.
It's funny because all these memes or all these people, you know, Tottenham celebrating like they, you know, it's a trophy to beat Man City. It's like, dude, get over it. Like, relax. You know, you're on your losing streak. You can't win a game. And guess what? This is what's going to happen in the future. When all that money dries up, you know, when your manager leaves, when these players don't want to play on your, you know, city anymore, guess what? You're going to go back to being who you were, you know, irrelevant. And it's just going to suck. And all that fan base, guess what they're going to do? They're going to jump ship on someone else. Yeah. And it's great to watch, you know.
Because those ain't real fans. They just jumped on the they jumped on the bandwagon. Now we're going to see once he leaves, which Manchester team is going to be the better team. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say one more last thing. It's funny how we could pull up a 4-0 victory over Man City mid-season, but we can't do it when Arsenal's about to win the league.
We know what that's about. We know what that's
Sorry.
about. Ange had to learn one way or another that you guys are a joke. Come on.
Nah. Don't worry. All right. Speaking of Liverpool, Sunday's match, Southampton, Liverpool at the St. Mary Stadium. Southampton 2, Liverpool 3. Halftime 1-1. Randy, did you hit yourself during halftime or what?
No, when I was calm, like that meme. You know, I'm a chill guy. I knew we had the chance. We had the firepower. We didn't have our strongest squad. We had who we had on the bench. We had McAllister and Luis Diaz, Lucho on the bench. They came from an international break, so I guess we were resting them, and because we also got Real Madrid this upcoming Wednesday, so it made sense to rest them. But once they came onto the pitch, it was totally different. I mean, the first goal was a gift from the goalkeeper. I don't know what kind of pass that was. I think they're trying to play from the back, but it was a stupid mistake, which we capitalized, and Dominic Soboslai scored from that position, which was great. The penalty kick that was given to Southampton, I don't know. I'm not saying it's controversial. I think it was like on the line, so it could have gone any other way. Great, Kelleher saved it, but he saved it in the direction of Armstrong, and he hit it on the rebound. Nothing against that, but it was a good game. I was a bit surprised that Southampton was actually playing that well. Maybe I was sweating a little bit, but I knew that we had a chance to at least get a point out of it. I didn't think we were going to lose, but once we made the clear substitutions, the game changed, and you got to give Gravenberg that assist, that pass to Salah, and that one-time hit to the net. It was beautiful. That second goal was beautiful. I know you guys are always talking about penalties, but let's be honest. If it was given to you, you would take it. I know there's always controversy on what a handball is, and that's still a big topic. Is what is a handball? I understand it hit off this chest and it banged into his arm, but that is the ref's call. It is what it is. We capitalized on it. Sometimes we're on the wrong end of the handball as well, or penalty calls. It is what it is. But we got 3 points. Like I mentioned, I was expecting it to be an easy win, but we're just showing that championship mentality that you got to win games no matter how. It can be a pretty win, or it can be a gritty win. And we weren't the best team today, but we pulled out the win, and that's what we had to do to keep our 8-point, now to have an 8-point lead against Manchester City. But it's a good display from the team, though.
Yeah.
You clipped that, right? He said champion mentality.
Championship
Did you clip
mentality.
it?
He doesn't know what that is.
Yeah,
he doesn't know what that is.
Clip it.
Clip it.
Good.
Clip it.
Right. So I did watch this game too. I will say that I think the first penalty given to Southampton was a little weird because it kind of started outside of the box and it went into the box. And from the explanation that they gave at halftime was that the ref gave the pen because at first at full speed it did look like a penalty. When I saw it, I said that's a penalty. When they rewinded it back, it kind of started outside the box, went into the box. But what they said was they didn't have any evidence to disprove that the foul didn't carry into the box. But what they said was, had the penalty not been given by the on-field referee, they would essentially use the same thing to prove the referee, right? That say there was no evidence that the foul did carry into the box because it was just blurry. So I also think that the Liverpool penalty that was awarded to them was iffy too because it hits his chest and then hits his arm. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't cut off your arms. So I think you could call it even. But at the end of the day, both goals were from mistakes directly involving the goalkeeper. And I think if Aaron Ramsdale was the goalkeeper, maybe Liverpool wouldn't have been so fortuitous.
No, that's why I was surprised that Aaron Ramsdale was injured. I didn't know that until I saw the game. And yeah, McCarthy, like I said, he made 2 big mistakes, but one of them was turned into a goal. But it was just, I think that's just comes down to experience. He's not playing as much. But I
I
think that
think
was
it's
just a
also
stupid pass to try to play from the back, especially when that guy is surrounded by three Liverpool players. And it's just a mistake on his end.
they were doing their press Liverpool. They had about 5-6 players surrounding the box. And it looked like it was actually a little bit of a miscommunication within the defender too, because McCarthy grabs the ball and he's got it in his hands, and the defender almost like points over to the defender because I think they're told to release the ball quickly and play out the back. And so he throws the ball on the ground, rolls it to the first person in front of him who's in the box, and all he can do is just turn around and pass it to somebody. Terrible play at the back. Yeah, like you said, I think it's just not getting that playing time, not getting that experience, playing a different style of football, which is all these teams that are used to playing low blocks, playing on the counter. Now they have to kind of restructure themselves to play out the back, and not all of them have the quality to be able to do that,
Right.
But anyway, like Randy said, you gotta get these points however it is. Doesn't matter if you're the worst team on the field. If you get the win at the end of the season, if you're holding that trophy, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, these it could have been a 1 point or 3 points, and we're lucky we were able to keep fighting and get the 3 points. It was a tough win. I mean, it was a tough match. I didn't expect it to be like this, but I still think we have one eye on the Real Madrid game. But still, we were able to get the win. We have momentum. We got 8 points. And we got Real Madrid for Champions League at home. And then we have Manchester City at Anfield. So let's hope we can get 2 wins and we can just keep giving more misery to Man City. And that gives the opportunity to my fellow rivals a chance to leapfrog or get close to Man City. Or get over them.
I'll tell you all about my plan.
Oh, please tell us your plan. It worked so well last 2 weeks ago. But I think it's a win if at least Man City is like in 3rd or 4th place in our book, as long as they're not the champions.
You are 8 points clear of 2nd.
Yeah. And we're versus Man City, so that can make it 11 points clear if we beat Man City.
Look, you're okay. So
even Pep Guardiola said, I don't think we're going to win against Liverpool. It's at Anfield.
So,
but I
You
just
said
think
the same thing about Arsenal's mind games.
I know he's mind games. That's the thing. But I just think if you get beat by Spurs at home, you're gonna get destroyed. I mean, no, you never know. But I feel like it's gonna be a good game.
No, say it.
You're gonna get destroyed by Liverpool then. If you get beat by Spurs, we're gonna be 8-0 against Man City.
Okay.
But I just think we're gonna add
8-0. Okay,
that's not my prediction.
Okay.
But I just think Man City is gonna still be suffering for a bit.
Ooh. So you're claiming to, obviously you're I think I know where your prediction is going to be, right? So you're saying you're going to be
11 points clear.
11 points clear, right? So we're a third of the way through the season.
You're already talking about bottling?
Are you comfortable predicting that you guys will win the league this year? Because it's a big gap.
I know it's a big gap. But
and
December,
you're talking real confident right now.
Yeah, you got to be confident. Says the guy who says Spurs are going to be
with an 8-0 victory over City.
Yeah,
but so if that's what you're saying, all I'm hearing is we're going to win the league, and that's what I'm writing that down.
And that sounds more believable than Spurs going to reach 2nd place.
Why? If we win and you beat City, guess who's in 2nd place? Well, if everybody else loses.
There you go. It's not going to happen.
But I'm saying that we're still in it. We're not.
No, you're still in it, but I don't think you're going to get 2nd. I believe it's going to be between Manchester City and Arsenal. And the way that
Arsenal's only 3 points ahead of us.
Yeah, but
City's only 4 points ahead of us.
Spurs,
we just beat City.
Yeah,
beat City.
But then you're going to lose to Fulham. You're going to lose to Crystal Palace. You're going to lose to these teams.
And Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest that Arsenal just beat.
Yeah, that's it.
So what is your argument? It's not there.
My argument is,
Are
we
you
only
going to
lost
win the
once.
league this year or not? That's what I want to know because I'm
I want
ready to
to
put
ask me
that in
at the
permanent marker.
ask me at the end of the
No,
year.
Get the tattoo.
Ask me
You're
at
gonna
the
get-
end of the year. No, that's no. You make your
Get the tattoo.
No,
Make your
because
predictions.
December
You
is
cut-
a hard month.
Oh no! Oh, you see these excuses.
Yeah.
I'm not making
He's
excuses.
he's only confident after they have the points on the board.
Exactly after
What?
they win.
What?
Yeah.
Because then
if
I
they
know,
did they beat Southampton today, he wouldn't be saying
No, I'd
but
still
we're
be
still a good
talking.
team. You know?
I'd still say we're still.
You sound real confident.
I am confident.
Saying 8-0 victory. Obviously, we know that's not your real prediction, but I know where that's coming from, right? I know that you're trying to say, "Hey, we can beat any team, anytime, anywhere."
Yeah, we can.
So
and we
guess
showed
what?
it.
You're gonna win the league, right? Right?
You know,
Let's hear it.
yes, Liverpool are going to win the league.
All right, there we
That's what you
go.
want.
And we got him. We got him, ladies and gentlemen. Clip it. Screenshot it.
Mission accomplished. Return home.
Yes, and then at the end, you can clip it. You can play this clip again, and pass me the trophy.
No, if it happens, we're gonna cancel this. All right.
It's a one and done season. No, I am confident.
You just don't
It's
want to
going
say
so
it
well.
because you know you might jinx it.
I don't care about jinxing. It only works on Spurs.
You don't touch the trophy before you win it.
I know, that's fine. But I feel the way we're playing, Slot's first season, the team that we assembled, they've been there, they're experienced. We're not young kids like what you have on Spurs. We think it's like Arsenal. They're so close. They have the experience. They know what needs to be done to get to that pinnacle to win it. Even though they haven't won it yet, but still they have experience. They're close. But Liverpool, we've done that. We have the same players who were there that won the Champions League, who won the Premier League. They have that mentality. They've been there. So that's what's driving them. We have experience. I believe they're not saying they're the favorites. They know anything can happen in soccer. They even said Man City is Man City. Even if they're in the drought, they're going. Anything can happen. Yes, I know it's soccer. Anything can happen. Yes, bottling is a term. It's happened. But right now, the way it is, the position we're in, how everyone else is playing in the league at the moment, Man City, our biggest rivals. Arsenal, who are what? How is it? 9 points below, Pat? Or
Yeah.
but still, we have that. We have those game cushions, and I know we're in a hard stretch of matches as well, and yet we're playing well. I just seeing all that, it gives us, a right to be somewhat confident, to be cocky. You guys were talking about this is going to be our hardest stretches of games, and yet we've come and we've won. And it's yes, I am cocky, but seeing us getting these results, it's like well deserved. It's like it's expected. It's a surprise, honestly. I didn't expect Liverpool to be in first place. I thought we were going to be in second or third. I thought it was honestly going to be between Arsenal and Man City, but things happen, suspensions, injuries. And we've been taking advantage of it. And I just think we're in a position with the experience that we have to keep going, and we're not going to let our foot off the pedal. Yes, we're going to lose a couple games. No, we're not going to be perfect, but I believe we still are going to have enough ground to separate us between everyone else. And I believe that we should be able to get the title at the end of the season.
Flip it. I just think every team has a blip at some point of the season.
Yeah,
Arsenal, I think, already had theirs. City's having theirs right now. So unless you're going to be Centurions and get 100 points a season, I don't think this is going to... You're not going to win
close.
every
We had
game till the end of the
99,
season.
98 twice, but but I'm just saying, look, looking at it, yeah, it says, remember the stats I gave you about Arsenal bottling? So I'd be quiet.
You bottled it once.
Yes,
Not
but
3 times.
2 times, I believe. Oh no, yeah, the fucking slip, Gerard. But still, I'm just saying, like, from our standpoint, I thought we weren't going to be in this position because Alisson is our goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and he's out, and Kelleher has stepped up and done an admirable job. He's kept us in games. Jota is out. He's our main striker, and yet we're still finding ways to score. We're getting help from everyone, from Gapco, Darwin, Salah, Diaz, Dominic Soboslai. We're getting Curtis Jones. Our defense is healthy. The only thing we have is Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's out, but Connor Bradley showed up and he's played well. I just think the worst thing I believe for me would be to have Allison out, and we've shown that we can compete still at the high level without him. It's good to have one of the best back keepers.
What about Mohamed Salah? What if he gets injured? Who's gonna kick your penalties?
Van Dijk.
You got your boy Lucho. You're forgetting that we have like some of the best attacking on the bench and on the field as well. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a miss. We got Harvey Elliott who's coming back.
I didn't see it against Southampton.
What? Lucho Diaz? He was playing he went back. He does the dirty work as well. He's running back and playing as a defender. I thought you'd have praise for your Colombiano, for your parcerito, pero
no,
it is what it is. Now when he's on the Reds.
No.
But I just think we're playing as a team and it's showing and we're in a position that we are because we're taking advantage of what's happening around the league. We're winning games, even if it's a gritty win. It's not pretty, but we're winning, and our squad is playing well, even with injuries. I think we're just looking. Thinking we're looking like the team to beat. Honestly, I know you guys have your opinions.
Southampton always beat you guys, but
yeah, almost beat us.
We'll get into those during the. We'll get into that into the predictions here.
Yeah, but that's what happens. Every team almost beats someone, or you win, you lose, whatever. At the end of the day, Nottingham Forest, which I break like in the game was to go in our advantage, and that's what showed in the Southampton game. He made the substitutions that we needed.
3 hours later,
he makes the necessary changes, and it changed the game, and we won because of it.
Jesus, Randy, you gonna write a book?
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll write a book. I'll write the book once
he's making sure
we get the trophy.
He's making sure we know. He's like, listen, understand.
You guys are talking so much. You guys wanted me to say it that we're gonna win the title. Yeah. So now you're gonna have to listen to all this bull. Now you're gonna have to listen to all the shit I'm gonna say. There you go.
You play defense sometimes, but then when you beat last place Southampton, you're like, oh, you're one of the best in the team. So are you going to beat City? You're going to win the title? Well, I don't know. There's still a lot of season left.
Yeah, there is a lot of season. I'm being realistic. Look at Allen. He still thinks, just because he beat Man City, but then he loses against Ipswich and Crystal Palace. There you go.
Let's get. We got one more game.
Yes.
One more.
Well, two actually.
Speed it up. Speed it up.
So 9:30, Portman Road, Ipswich. We had Ipswich, Man United. Ipswich 1, Man United 1 for Ruben Omori. Yeah. His debut as the Man United manager. Marcus Rashford scoring very early in the game, but after that, it's Ipswich that took over. Beautiful goal by Hutchinson on the 43rd minute. And this game ends 1-1 draw. Not the start that they wanted. We need a Man
United fan. Are they happy with that result? Is that a good showing? I mean, it was a good showing in the first 2 minutes. And after that, it was like all Ipswich.
Hammer him out.
If this was directly after Eric, they probably be like, you know what? Give it time. But when you had your interim manager win, 3?
He won 4 games.
4 games in all competitions. And then you come back and draw. I mean, Ipswich is a good team. They've beaten really, 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 really good teams.
But they beat them.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's one of those where you got to give it time anyways. I don't think anyone's overreacting, but
you can't take it too seriously. And he did say he realized what was going on, and I just think United fans probably expected more. But yeah, it's his first game, take a breather.
But I'm sure there are some people clenching their fists like, frick, like this was
the game to win. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it looked like that, honestly, in the beginning. Once you had that goal up, we thought there was going to be more goals after that. But no, they were just quiet. Ipswich came and they played well, and they dominated most of the game. Ipswich should have won, honestly.
We'll see what they come up with next.
Yeah.
I mean, they have good players, and Hutchinson. I think he was an Arsenal academy player. Went to Chelsea thinking he would get more time. Obviously, didn't work out there. I think he had like 1 start. Then moves over to Ipswich, they have a lot of players that have a point to prove. So
Mhm.
a lot of hard fighters.
I just hope Ipswich doesn't get relegated because they play beautifully, but it's just
They do. They play real.
they're entertaining to watch. I hope they can stay another season, but it's just the way it's looking. I don't think they're gonna. But I mean, they're a good team.
Who knows? Everton might give them that opportunity to stay in if they keep the way they are. I think.
Yeah.
We'll
Or
see.
City, or if City might have dropped the ball, letting Cooper go too early, they might give Ipswich an opportunity to stay in if Crystal keeps the way they are.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We have one more game. Unfortunately, we will not be able to cover this game. It will be Newcastle versus West Ham. We'll just put that in our predictions for next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say I think Newcastle takes it, but
So you
they're at
think
home.
Yeah.
that's also the third sacking of the season?
Oh yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I
think-
West Ham has a new coach by Christmas, I think.
Yeah, Cooper. I think the Steve Cooper sacking might kind of start a trend. So I think if West Ham loses, yeah, I think it might be.
I mean, it's a tough place to play over there, St. James Park. I just don't see West Ham winning, and I agree. I think there might be the third sacking of the season.
Yep. All right. So match week 13. Kicking off early on Friday. So Friday game, November 29th, we have Brighton. Well, it's a 1300 game. So 1 o'clock, Brighton, Southampton at the American Express Stadium.
Another loss for Southampton. Brighton is going to keep on winning. They're playing home.
Yep.
Brighton should take out the win with this one.
Agreed. Yep, me too.
All right, moving along. Saturday, November 30th, starting off at 8 o'clock. I think it's 10 o'clock for you guys. Brentford, Leicester City at the Brentford.
Brentford wins. Leicester has no coach at the moment, so I just think it's going to keep on snowballing to another loss for them. Brentford with the win.
Yeah, I think Brentford won this too.
Yeah, Brentford.
All right, Crystal Palace, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock game. Newcastle, who played on Monday, so the short week for them at the Leicester Park.
I'm going to say Crystal Palace edge this one.
I have to agree with Pat. I was leaning towards Crystal Palace. If they're playing at home, I believe so.
Might be their opportunity to get out of that bottom three. Nottingham Forest, Ipswich at the City Grounds in Nottingham.
Forest bounce
back. I think Ipswich might take this. No, I think Ipswich.
I'm going to say Forest too. I'm going to say Forest.
Yeah, Forest. They're just better at the moment.
Yeah.
Wolves, Bournemouth at the I can't say that. So at Wolverhampton's.
Molyneux.
Wolves. Get it 3 wins in a row.
Yeah, Wolves.
All right, so we're going to mix in our predictions while we go this because we're running a little low on time. West Ham. It's a 10:30 game, Mountain Standard Time. West Ham versus Arsenal at London Stadium.
Pat?
So I will actually be in France. I'm going to try to catch this game while I'm there.
Oh, show off.
So let's hope I bring the luck to Europe.
I'll bring the boom.
I'm going to say Arsenal take this one. West Ham, they could do something maybe on a corner. I'm going to go with same one. 3-1. Same as last week, 3-1.
I think West Ham manager gets sacked. They're going to have an interim coach manager. He's going to spark the team. And then West Ham is going to beat Arsenal 1-0.
I think West Ham, I believe it's going to be a draw, 1-1.
Ooh, I like that.
Someone doesn't want us to catch up. Someone doesn't want us to catch up.
Good luck. We'll see. Let's see how it goes in French. Maybe it'll be cursing in French because of the draw.
Welcome to French. All right, Sunday, 1 December. Welcome to December. Merry Christmas. Chelsea, it's a 6:30 game, 8:30 for those Eastern people. Chelsea, Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge. This would be a good game. If it was in Liverpool City, I would have said this would be the highlight game.
Yeah.
Agreed,
Chelsea to
yeah.
prove something and Villa to prove us wrong.
I believe Chelsea pulls it out. Yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea, me too. Chelsea.
I think Villa keeps traveling down that table. Next game, Man United, Everton at Old Trafford.
Ruben
United.
Amorim gets their first win as a coach.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Agreed.
All right.
Alan?
Everybody's favorite team, Tottenham. Fulham. Tottenham playing at home at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We do this in style. We keep this going. We keep
Who are you
increasing
facing?
that goal differential. Fulham?
Okay.
They do
I
this
didn't see
in
it.
style, lose the
I
games.
don't think so.
Oh, I didn't say the name because it doesn't matter.
Hey,
Like
you just-
none of us have names here this game.
it's because your team has no name.
We're playing. So I think this is going to be a 3-1 victory for the Spurs. I think we keep this going. We bring the energy we had at our second home and we bring it to our main home. So 3-1 Spurs.
I'm gonna go with Fulham. I think it would be so
Wow.
like Tottenham to lose to Ipswich, then beat City, and then come home and lose to Fulham.
I believe
gotta give
a
it
lot
to
of,
Fulham.
I believe the odds are for Tottenham to lose to Fulham
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
It's typical. I wanted 2-1 Fulham.
Me too.
Wow.
Me too. 2-1.
All right, let the haters hate. Next
Speaking
game,
of haters, you guys.
9 o'clock, 9 a.m., 11 o'clock for those Eastern people. Liverpool, Man City at Anfield.
Highlight game.
Rainey, how much are you going to lose by?
Was it Man City is going to lose by? I believe they're going to lose by 3 goals. Let's do it. I want to say 3-1. Let's do it 3-0. Liverpool.
3.
3-0. Okay.
Wow.
Oh, Haaland plays tennis then, huh?
Yeah, he's playing tennis. He's going to be in Virgil van Dijk's pocket when he pulls out his keys and his wallet. There he's going to be.
I'm just waiting for that buzz cut. City player's gonna come with a buzz cut and say,
Yeah, it's
Time
going to
to
be Pep
refresh.
Guardiola.
I'm gonna go City
Wow, there you go, haters.
City-
You don't want us to keep adding to the lead.
1-0. Man City 1-0.
Wow. Liverpool, no. Man City, 1. Okay. What was your prediction, Randy?
8-0, remember? No, I'm just kidding. 3-0. 3-0. 3-0.
3-0. Ooh. I'm going to give Liverpool a little bit more credit than they deserve, right?
Oh, thank you, Alan.
Liverpool's going to score 2, but Man City's going to score 3.
Ooh.
All right, I was just gonna.
I say this game-
I was just gonna change my vote for Tottenham to win for beat Fulham, but now I'll keep it Fulham 2-1.
Yeah, we don't need your kudo points.
The reality is, I'm not like. I feel like my prediction is like a hopeful, but not really because I don't want City to get away from Arsenal either. So, but I just honestly think Man City. Look, Peppa's never lost 4 games in a row, and he's
never
four games
lost
in a row.
5, and he's gonna go 6.
I just don't think it can go past 5.
But you're.
I think it was written in the stars for Spurs to beat them.
I think they're going to
That's
come
the
out here
Premier
and try
League
to beat
strength.
Liverpool so that they could be like, listen, we're not that bad. We just beat the top of the league team, you know?
We'll see. All right.
So what do you say, Alan? You say 2-3, Man City. That's what your thing was. Your prediction.
2-3. Liverpool 2, Man City 3.
Okay, I see a lot of hate going on, but that's fine. It's fine. I'll take it.
All right. So, yeah, that wraps up the games.
So the current standings is I'm sitting now at 17 points at the top of the league. Randy's now sitting with 12, and Alan is now sitting with 10, double digits.
Woo-hoo! So, oh, yeah, that's right, because you guys didn't predict we would win this game. Wow. What was it? Tie?
Well, the mini league is getting closer. It's getting close. The gap
Getting
is
closer.
closing.
Hey, just like the Premier League, these gaps are closing down.
Yeah, for the middle of the
struggle
table.
bus.
Reminder: I'm just going to remind you, just to remind you guys and remind the viewers at home and the listeners at home, Liverpool sitting at 31 points at first place, Man City sitting at second with 23 points, Chelsea at third with 22, Arsenal at fourth with 22, Brighton at fifth with 22, Tottenham Hotspurs at sixth with 19 points. If our predictions go as they go, oh no, the table will stay the same.
Good prediction.
All that.
Good table, Red.
Good job.
But if Arsenal lose, we overtake them. So if we win, we go 22nd.
No, you'd be goal
and
difference.
We'll goal differential. We're up.
I just don't think.
For my Tottenham Hotspurs supporters out there, keep the faith. Don't worry.
You mean trust the process? You're starting to sound like Arteta.
Trust the process. Hey, we're only a year and a half in. We are not 12, 15, whatever. How many years Arteta's been there? Trust this process.
More trophies than Tottenham have in their.
Oh wow! hey, don't worry. I'll buy us a shield or whatever, a community cup,
an FA Cup,
whatever you want. FA. Don't worry. Okay, Eric, bring back Eric then. Let's have that conversation.
Maybe he could go because everyone's Ange out, right? So we could.
Not everyone's not Ange out.
After
everybody wants us to be Ange out.
That's trending.
No, see,
we probably trending now because of us.
We went from
10th guys
to 6. Guess what? That's 4 places. Another 4 places, and guess where we're at? 2nd place. Stand by my prediction. Let's go.
You're welcome, because if not for us, we did you a favor.
And we did you guys a favor. Both of you guys.
Oh yeah.
True. All right.
Yeah.
Even. Shake on it.
All right.
All right, and that's an episode. Thank you so much for joining us. So glad the Premier League is back, and now we have tons of games up until the Boxing Day, December 26th. Lots of games to watch. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Rivals on the Pitch. Comment, like, subscribe. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, and let us know what you want to hear, what you want us to discuss. And thanks again for stopping by. I'm Pat.
I'm Randy.
Ooh, and I'm Alan. Tune in next week if you want to hear Randy get riled up again. Boy.